Hello everyone, this is Haley from Cartoon Universe, and today I have another Steven Universe theory for you guys. Recently I talked about Blue Pearl and her current whereabouts. Today I would like to focus on her diamond, Blue Diamond. As I'm about to explain, there is so much more to her than just being one of the leaders of the Diamond Authority. This is an expansion on the video I made recently about the current whereabouts of the diamonds, especially Blue Diamond. To start off with some analysis, Blue Diamond has been an imposing yet mysterious presence in the show. In stark contrast to Yellow Diamond's room, which is bare with nothing to hide, Blue's motif is shrouded in a lot of secrets. For one, we have her palanquin, which is a visual barrier between her and her court. Even within the palanquin, there are drapes and curtains to distance her further. And beneath that all, Blue Diamond is depicted as having a veil that covers almost all of her face. Blue is one of the big figures of Homeworld. Everyone knows who she is, and in line with her very imperial style aesthetic, it would stand to assume that everyone should know what she looks like. It is a context similar to having Caesar's face on Roman currency, but they don't. Instead, she's purposely concealing something about herself, and it goes unquestioned for the most part. This leads to the question of what happened to Blue Diamond when the war broke out. We saw from the answer that Blue Diamond's style of leadership is rather detached. First, when Pearl and Rose attack her court, Blue's immediate response is to flee and later return after the fighting is settled. Second, Blue Diamond likes to be assured of her victories, and it is likely sapphires were a staple in her court because of their abilities. This would mean that she doesn't like being involved in the thick of things and planning on the spot. Third, Blue's normally cool demeanor was clearly affected by Garnet's presence, and beyond the act of fusion, she claimed Ruby's transgression was really fusing with a member of her court. This tells us that although Blue Diamond detaches herself from some of the everyday occurrences in her court, she's still watching, and that gives her a feeling of certainty and predictability. Rather similar to Yellow Diamond, she likes being in control, although not in as hands-on a way as the formers. The moment the commotion died down, she reappeared almost immediately, meaning she was not very far away. This behavior gives us some insight to what might have happened to her in the heat of the war. There's actually evidence that Blue didn't leave Earth immediately after the war broke out. The image of the abandoned palanquin in Buddy's book. At the beginning of the war, the Crystal Gems were a ragtag group of rebels. They were neither predicted nor assured the win over Earth. In all accounts of the war we've received, we're told about a certain point in time in which the Crystal Gems turned the tide of the war. That would have been the time Blue Diamond abandoned the palanquin and decided to make a break for it. Why? Because had she left at the beginning of the war, when things were still relatively smooth sailing, she would have taken the contraption with her as she did in the answer. Early in the war, there would still have been some room for luxuries, as Homeworld felt they could easily take Earth. They would still be holding most of their territory, enough to keep their diamond in a safe place until things got really bad. And what happened after they did? Had the palanquin just been left by Blue Diamond to step out into a warp or ship, we would expect it to be close to a warp pad or a launch pad. But Buddy appears to have found it on the side of the hill because of the incline of the image, or at least in the middle of the clearing, because there are no images of warps nearby on the page. This leads to the possibility that on her way to escape, Blue was attacked, specifically targeted to be immobilized or taken out. Given the Crystal Gem's vision, it's unlikely to be the latter. But looking back at Buddy's image, the palanquin itself does not appear to have sustained damage, aside from that of time. Recreating the scene, it would appear that Blue Diamond stepped out of it willingly, perhaps to confront her would-be assailant. The thing is, we know Rose had employed this kind of strategy before. Rose targeted Pink Diamond specifically in the accounts of the latter's shattering. It is likely her intention here was not to shatter Blue Diamond, because Blue wasn't playing as big of a role as Pink in the battle for Earth, and there's further evidence that this encounter happened. In the mural in Sirius Steven, the one found in the inverted pyramid as the gems are falling, we see a scene with Rose facing off against a blue gem, who seems to wield control over ice or water. It's reasonable to assume that this was Blue. So Blue Diamond, as far as we know, was taken out in her attempts to escape. Her defeat is something the gems knew about. It was publicized enough that the gems included it in a mural in the giant ziggurat tomb. That would support the idea that the gem fighting Rose was someone important enough for this flamboyant temple. Coming from the mural, another question is opened up. Why does this character not match up with what we know of Blue Diamond's aesthetic in the answer and in the other mural in the moon base? This gem has a slimmer build, spiky hair, and none of the flowing lines, whereas the image of Rose perfectly captures her curls, her billowing ball gown, and her fuller build. Also, the blue gem here looks more like the moon-based mural depictions of white, yellow, and pink diamond, with white even holding something at chest level, the way moon diamond-based white diamond is. Coincidentally, there are ziggurat mural depictions of two other characters with the same spiky hair, build, and inverted triangles in the colors of yellow and white. This reinforces the idea that a showdown between Rose and Blue Diamond happened at one point. It could very well be that the mural artist tried to unify the look of the four diamonds more, so they would stand in sharper contrast to Rose. Another possibility is that we're seeing Blue Diamond without the veil. The diamonds would then be similar in aesthetic, and given this moment was the final face-off between the two, it's likely that Blue Diamond shed her veil to fight Rose head-on. At this point then, we need to ask, why the need for all of this secrecy? The other diamonds don't seem to be hiding their aesthetic. For instance, Yellow Diamond is easily recognizable in both the Moon Base mural and the Sirius Steven mural. Here's a thought. Shrouded Blue's aesthetic is very similar to particular gems, one we've already seen depictions of, the Moon Goddess statue. It is very likely she was a real gem. The Moon Goddess statue is associated with the Lunar Sea Spire, of which Lunar is a great part. Something else about the Lunar Sea Spire is that we see a fusion of two different types of gems, shown by a gem with 4 arms, meaning that a gem fusion of this sort is not an alien concept for Homeworld. In Cheeseburger Backpack, there are statues of gems with 4 arms, one even with a veil. These extra limbs don't occur when gems of the same type fuse, as that forms a bigger version of the gem. And these statues are proudly displayed, both in the building and in Pearl's holographic projection in the episode. It would explain why Blue wasn't fazed when Garnet first appeared, the way the rest of her court was awestruck and settled on short exclamations. The Lunar Sea Spire is an area heavily associated with Blue Diamond because of the color scheme, in the same way that Sky Arena and Alpha Kindergarten is associated with Pink Diamond. This would mean that upon reaching the safe space that was the Sea Spire, Blue Diamond would assume the character of Moon Goddess and fuse with her corresponding Sea Goddess to form the fusion, who was worshipped by the inhabitants of the spire. Speculating to whom Blue Diamond's possible fusion partner was is something that will not be discussed in the meantime, because there's still another loose end. How did the Homeworld gems know the fight took place if it was in such a secluded area? There is one gem who may hold the key to the answer, someone in the know of everything that Blue Diamond did. Now I'm going to talk about a gem that I previously mentioned, Blue Pearl. Blue Diamond felt completely comfortable talking to others in Blue Pearl's presence, as though the latter wasn't there or was just another curtain in her palanquin. Blue Pearl was always with her diamond, inside the palanquin. Given what Rose stood for, and the way she tried to approach the war, which is hurting as few people as possible, it's likely she left Blue Pearl unharmed. This would explain why many of the aristocrats were still able to escape in Lapis's flashback. Rose just didn't target them. She went after a few specific gems and immobilized if they stood in her way or she faced gems directly on the battlefield. Given this, it is likely that Blue Pearl managed to get away. Like I mentioned in a previous video, Didi Mango Hall, Pearl's voice actress, confirmed that she has recorded voices for the other Pearls, implying that the other Pearls we've seen are getting speaking roles. This highlights the possibility that Blue Pearl may have survived the war and lived to tell the tale of what happened to Blue Diamond. Then, that brings up the question, what then happened to Blue Diamond? Again, in canon we've seen a gem with the same color and cut. The gem embedded in the lighthouse in Horror Club has the diamond-shaped and flat top of a classic diamond. This gem is immensely powerful, able to control things outside herself, like the scarecrows, even without a physical form. This same gem can project scenes and memories. And following the idea that Rose refused to shatter anyone else, embedding her somewhere she thought no one would find her would have seemed like a good idea. In fact, Rose's marker is present in the lighthouse. The pentagonal-shaped window appears very similar to the facets of her gem. Rose is bad at dealing with interpersonal conflict situations. She's the type of gem who can't bring herself to face people she's hurt, like Bismuth, instead leaving them for someone else to find later on. This would have been before the light bomb that corrupted other gems. The crystal gems wouldn't have been collecting and bubbling up gems just yet, so there was nowhere to hide the gem, because there was only one reason for Blue Diamond to step out of her palanquin willingly and without a fight, if she knew Rose somehow. Working under that premise, poofing Blue Diamond would have been personal, and that would explain the treatment her gem got. That Rose had a lighthouse built for her showed some kind of respect and care she put into keeping the former's gem, and at the same time, she would rather be close to the cave that the crystal gems resided in. At the same time though, it shows that Rose believed that this is an ugly part of her past, something else to keep hidden, another parallel to Bismuth. And this is why the gem in the ziggurat, very similar to White Diamond, and likely her, was able to have a Homeworld style tomb built for her. But Blue Diamond's is seemingly missing. She was there all along. So that was a theory regarding Blue Diamond. As always, leave your thoughts about this one in the comment section below. The writer for this video was Poet of the Piano. I would also like to thank a few new Patreon supporters. Jerry, the fan within, and Farhad. We are almost to our first Patreon goal. Once we reach it, we'll start interviewing voice actors, as well as other people who are in the animation industry, about their work. Tell us who you would like to see us interview first, and help us reach this goal by becoming a Patreon supporter. Even the smallest donation will get you a shout out. And with that, thanks for watching!